Buongiorno. I'm pleased to be here in Florence, Italy, my first time here in Italy. To be here with all these great international artists, I feel very inspired to be amongst all these artists in this global stage. And the theme of this year's Biennale is Light and Darkness. And so with my work, I'm trying to explore some of that theme. So in our fragmented world today, my pieces are made with fragments, terrasse, flowers of birds, and different pieces that I use to make my palette. As you could see here in the Shaman Priestess, I'm exploring some of the central human condition of unity, of seeking optimism from darkness. So these are some of the elements that I weave into my work. My inspiration for a lot of my work is I'm from Belize, Central America originally, a very colorful, bright place in the tropics. And a lot of my childhood memories have been formed by all the colors that I grew up with. As if you know Belize, it's a very, very colorful place. I woke up with the birds most days and always walked around and saw flowers, riding my bike. I never really made a deliberate consciousness at that time growing up, but that has informed my work. And then the other piece is all these, fragments, mosaics. My work is called contemporary mosaic or neopointillism. What I do is compose my pieces with all the flowers and all the different objects that I find. So in this case of the Shaman Priestess, birds, to explore that spirituality, I guess, of light and darkness. I made that piece for this event. And then these pieces here, Eden and Reflection of Us, invite the viewer to come in and explore a deeper view and what I call a substance of life. So a lot of my work is deep in concept, humanity. So Reflection of Us is really asking the viewer to take a look and see, well, what is it about humanity and why are we so disconnected? And there's these, this is speaking directly to the immigration crisis. And it's just asking the question, put yourselves in those shoes of that immigrant, that refugee, and understand thirst, for example. But yet I'm still trying to look at that beauty of the human condition, a very optimistic view of the future is bright. And so that's why you see the colors and expression of that piece. So then Eden, instead of building walls, because all Eden is not lost, that story of Adam and Eve from the Christian tradition, and I'm saying it's not lost. There's still hope. But we have to build that, and that's the effort it is. And again, I'm trying to manifest and show the beauty everywhere. And so those are some of the key components with my work. The flowers, the birds, and then I had some other pieces that I made with butterflies and so forth. But for this Biennale, I have those two key elements for the colors in my work to compose the final image, and ultimately seeking that optimism of life, and so I call it substance of life. This piece I composed specifically for the Biennale. The other two pieces were ongoing pieces of work that I had already started. But this one specifically, I'll begin. I normally go every morning for a walk near my house to a place called Crivcore Lake. And actually, that is kind of a poignant name. That name of Crivcore Lake means literally broken heart. And so this story of this lake is broken heart. Well, this is in a way relating to that human condition of us seeking light. And so I chose this piece, and it's called Shaman Priestess. And beginning with Crivcore Lake, this is actually the posts of the bridge. The original part of that is the bridge. And I did this with intentional camera movement. It's a camera technique of painting just with your camera. So I did that, and that's the base image. I said that's going to be the base image. And I actually had named it before the cathedral. I was thinking of it more in those grandiose terms of the great European cathedrals with the mosaic ceilings and so forth. Well, instead, I wanted to go with something that's much more connected to nature, substantial with nature. And representing humanity. again, detachment, for us to go and leave our modern world and come back to the more connected world with nature. And that influence of growing up in Belize is with birds. So I made all these birds. It took about 2 years to get these photographs of these birds that I use as my little terrace, or the little tiles that I use to compose my image. And so when I started this process and put this together, many of these birds are from Quifcore Lake as well. And the shaman priestess is really there. It's a connection to nature. It's a mystical connection over time and history, many cultures around the world. So that's the reason I chose that. One, much more in touch with nature. And then the birds bring that in, and the singing of the birds that can fly away. And the cathedral is actually the columns of that bridge that I use as my backdrop and background. These pieces are then taken, and I do the finishing touches in Photoshop. I combine them in Lightroom and Photoshop. I combine these pieces, I create the output, and then I do hand oil painting technique in Photoshop for the final image. And these then are then printed to have that painting technique printed on giclée, fine paper, fine art, archival paper, in this case, aquarelle Canson paper, 310 GSM, for museum quality, and mounted on dye bond. So pleased to be here in Florence with all these great artists around, and many people have come and actually liked the abstract, walking all the way in and closely and discovering a bird or a flower and having a smile. And that's it for me. Thank you. Grazie.